everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I am so excited to have you here. We are making some breakfast items today. So today's collab is a Christmas breakfast recipes. Just something that, maybe what you like to eat for breakfast on Christmas, or some ideas, inspiration for Christmas breakfast. I want to say thank you to Kristy from Kristy's Farmhouse and Melissa from I'm Merely Melissa for hosting this wonderful collab. It is a monthly collab where we have different recipes to share each month, and I look forward to it in the new year. Hopefully it's still continuing because it's been a great source of inspiration. So I'm hoping today you're going to find a little bit of inspiration here. We're making two different types of rolls. We're making cinnamon rolls, and then we're also making a breakfast roll. So first up here, I am just making up my cinnamon roll dough. Very simple to make up, just milk and water, your yeast and sugar, and flour, salt, and a little bit of oil of your choice. And that's it. It's really that simple. Mix it all together, give it a quick knead, throw it in the bowl, and let it rise. And just kind of forget about it for a little bit. Cinnamon rolls are a huge favorite in our house. We have them often. I would say we probably have them at least once a week. And I definitely am a big fan of making them ahead of time. I like to make them in different ways. I kind of like to make them ahead of time, frozen or unfrozen. Either way works for us, but it is a nice addition to have in the fridge or in the freezer and ready to go, so you can just pop them out for a quick breakfast. So for my cinnamon rolls here, I've just rolled it out into a nice big rectangle. I'm going to butter the whole rectangle and then sprinkle it with cinnamon, or sprinkle it, with brown sugar and then cinnamon. You can also take your butter and mix your cinnamon and your sugar into your butter and then spread it across. You don't have to use brown sugar either. You can use white sugar. It's really up to you. I prefer brown sugar. And then you can just mix it all together and then spread that across the butter, cinnamon, sugar mixture if you would like. This works for me. I find it easier, quick little roll. And then we will roll that out and cut them up. So I used to try to make 24 out of this recipe, which didn't yield nice thick cinnamon buns. So recently I have been separating it into, I think, 18 I've been getting. Really, I don't go by, I go by thickness now when I cut them. I just kind of want about a good inch thick, and that gives you a nice big puffy cinnamon roll. Now, the bigger your rectangle is when you start, the bigger your cinnamon buns are going to end up being, and like the more rolls you'll get in them. So it's really kind of up to you how big or little you want your cinnamon buns to be. And then just divide them out amongst your trays and make sure you give them a little bit of room to puff up. The closer you put them in your tray, the less circumference you're going to get, but they will still puff upwards. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description box down below for the playlist and the content creators. Okay, so I've got a cup of milk, a cup of water. Actually, this one I'm not going to do a quarter cup. I'm just going to do about 2 tablespoons, because this is not going to be a sweet dough. This is going to be a not sweet dough. Okay, so about 2.5 tablespoons of yeast. Mix that. Now I'm going to let this sit and get all poofy. And okay, I'm going to put in this batch first because they have filled out nicely. These ones, I want them to rise just a touch bit more. So we'll throw these guys in first. Okay, there's the first batch out of the oven. You can do a couple of things. You can make a glaze with just icing sugar and a little bit of milk and glaze the top of them. Personally, I like to leave them plain, especially if I'm going to be rewarming them, and you definitely don't want to overcook them. So this is for like a quick, like to reheat them in the morning quickly, because you can have these baked the night before. The other thing you can do is you can make your dough the night before. You can get them trayed up the night before, and then you can freeze, and then you can stick them in the fridge, and they will like settle in the fridge overnight, and then you can pull them on out, set them on the counter, and or actually what I like to do is pull them out of the fridge and I put them in the fridge, or in the oven, sorry, while it's heating up, and that kind of warms them up along with it. You can freeze them, so you can put them on the tray just like this and then freeze your tray, and then pull them out and wrap them or leave them on the tray. It's up to you. Possibilities are endless. I like to buy the tinfoil trays and then just fill them with the cinnamon rolls, and then I can freeze them and pop them in the oven, or pop them in the fridge and then pull them out. I'm so sorry. I'm getting my words all backwards because I'm trying to focus on the camera. I'm trying to focus on the cinnamon buns. I'm trying to focus on everything here. So yeah, and then just top them how you like. The kids like them plain. You can put them, you can put frosting on them. You can put glaze on them. I crushed one by accident. There she is, all covered in.
Our dishwasher's broken.
And batch number 2. So like I said, let them cool. You can wrap them and freeze them like this. You can freeze them before you bake them if you want to warm them up in the oven. Top them with icing, top them with glaze.
I want that one.
As she's eating one right now.
That was nice and fluffy.
Are they good? Always, right? No, that's not true.
Advertise these warm and nice cinnamon buns.
I have my dough here, same as my cinnamon bun dough. The only difference is, oh, this one's cold, and I only used, a little less sugar in this dough. Okay, so for these breakfast rolls that we're making now, same idea. Roll your dough out nice and flat into a nice big rectangle. When your dough is cold, it does take a bit more work, so I would recommend letting your dough warm up, but also when it's cold it won't rise as quickly, so it's up to you. Anyways, so roll your dough out, get yourself a nice big rectangle. I did spread butter on these. I don't know if it makes a difference. I'm not sure if the butter is needed or not. This is the first time I've ever made them like this. I just, the one day was thinking, hey, you know, it'd be really cool if there was bacon and eggs inside of these and like make it into like a breakfast roll, because we love cinnamon rolls for breakfast. And I thought, what else could we do with this? I've also made pizza roll-ups in a very similar way to this, and they're a big hit as well. So yeah, we're just going to spread the butter and then sprinkle on your cheese and your eggs and your bacon. You could add whatever you want to this. You could put mushrooms in it, peppers, onions. It's sky's the limit. It's your breakfast roll. You make it the way you want it. I made it the way I know the kids like it. And then I also added another sprinkling of cheese. I know, yes. Another sprinkling of cheese on top of the bacon and eggs, just so that it was like sandwiched in between cheese, and that I figured would also help it stick inside the roll. So then once you get that all nicely spread out, you could season it however you wanted. I seasoned my eggs, so there was no need for me to add seasoning anywhere else. And then from there, we're just going to roll it. And surprisingly, this rolled really easily. I did kind of push the toppings down a little bit into the dough. Not really hard, but I just kind of went and patted them around. And this rolled up super easy. The only thing is when I did this, my ends were a little empty. So the one end for sure didn't really have anything in it. And you'll see here at one point, I do just kind of go back and unroll it and add some like droppings into it, just because I felt like it didn't really have much in it. But these, like I said, they rolled out nicely and they came together really, really easily. So I think I got, again, I got about 18 out of them. So I just separated them between my 2 trays. Actually, no, I think I might have had a little bit more than 18. And so I separated them into the trays that I had and then threw them in the oven to proof and puff up. And okay, and then here they are, about to go in the oven. Ooh, look good. Okay, so there is the first tray. Somebody's not happy, hold on. And there's the second. These ones are slightly less cooked. They're still cooked, just not quite as crispy on top. But that's because I do plan to put that batch into the oven, or into the freezer, sorry, to save them for a later date. So, hey! I don't know if these need anything on top. I was just gonna maybe go over them with a touch of butter, but I don't think they need that. Okay, we're gonna make a quick sauce here. That's probably more mayonnaise than I needed because the kids aren't actually going to need all of that, but that's okay. So I'm gonna add that, and then it's just ketchup and mayo and some pepper. We've got our beautiful breakfast rolls. Now, you could slather this sauce on the top and just eat it like that, almost like an icing, or you could put it on the side and dip it. Okay, so you could put the sauce on the side like that, or I have a whole bunch of plates in front of me. Just wait, mister. Come on, will you guys stop? So there's two super simple breakfast ideas that are great for making ahead. Again, you can freeze this before you bake it, or you can freeze it after you've baked it. I plan to wrap up this dish here on the bottom and freeze it, and then that way when it's time to make it, you can just pull it out, throw it in the fridge, and let it defrost. Say hi to you guys. My glasses are falling down. So yeah, you can put them in the freezer and let them defrost, or put them in the fridge, sorry, let them defrost, set them on the counter to defrost. I personally like to have them baked ahead of time because then it's just that much faster to cook them. But it's totally up to you. You can do it however you want. So it's a make ahead or make the same day. And this is going to be our breakfast for Christmas this year because it is super easy, super simple. Ignore the mess behind me. We have a massive declutter happening in this house this week. So there's been a lot going on. So I hope that you will like my video, share my video. I hope it's given you some inspiration for Christmas morning breakfast. I want to thank our hosts, Kristy from Kristy's Farmhouse and Melissa at I'm Merely Melissa. Thank you so much for this monthly food collab. It's been amazing, and I really hope that we get to see you again in the new year. And don't forget to check out their channels and the description box down in the playlist. Or the playlist down in the description box. One day I'll get that right. One day I'll be able to say all of that without mixing it all up and jumbling it, but that day is not today. So thank you guys. I appreciate you all very much, and I will see you again in the next one.